And daughters, guess what? Hey, I am a native Texan, and today that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just kind of inviting you to visit Texas if you're not already here. Now, listen, I didn't say move to Texas, I said visit Texas. Listen, don't let your feelings get hurt. It's a running joke. The joke is that Texas is closed. We don't want any more people here. It's just a joke. Listen, if you cannot take a joke, I promise you this pod show is not for you because I do a lot of joking. I do a lot of laughing. Life is fun. The past weekend, I got an opportunity to hang out with my Mini Cooper Car Club. We do a lot of stuff around the world, because you've been watching my shows, so you already know we are everywhere all the time, all at once. This weekend, we met in Comfort, Texas, went through Medina, Texas, but guess what? I got my hotel in Fredricksburg, Texas. Listen to me when I tell you. I've been to Fredericksburg many times, but never one of those things where I said, I'm going to get a hotel. I'm going to stay the weekend. I'm going to do my activity that I came this far to do. But I actually stayed and I had a good time. If you ever travel with me, you'll probably say this girl is probably the most organized traveler I have ever been with, because a little secret, before I go anywhere, if I'm traveling for a day or two or a weekend, I do kind of like a schedule. And a schedule doesn't mean that boom, 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 I have to do those things like a robot. It just means these are ideas of what I want to do. So, for example, on my weekend list for Fredericksburg, I had on Saturday morning, I was going to go there, drive there, which was about 3.5 hours. I drove there. I had a couple of specific places I wanted to go. I'll go ahead and tell you where those places were. Whenever I travel to different locations, I always look for companies that are homegrown and have homemade soap, handmade soap. So I had two places that I wanted to go when I got there. So when I got there, one of the places that I went to was a place called San Saba Soap Place. But before I get to that, my list had, okay, so I put the address of the first place I wanted to go. So I got there, found the perfect park. A little bit of warning, when you go to Fredericksburg, Texas, and you want to hang out in downtown Fredericksburg, it is like your old town downtown. Parking is scarce. If you get lucky, you'll get a park at the door. If not, you're going to walk a few blocks. But because the whole downtown is walkable, it doesn't matter. If you get a side park, it will not matter. I was looking for a park because the park that I wanted in front of the door where the first location was, there were no parks. So I go 2 blocks, 3 blocks over straight. Of course, I'm going to stay straight because if I start going down streets, I'm not going to remember how to get back to the front part because I was by myself. Listen, I'm directionally challenged. I'm not even going to lie to you. But I was at the light trying to figure out where can I park where I'll remember where to go. And there's a truck coming out. Now I'm 2 cars back at the light about to make a left. And I tell you, I made a quick left into that park. I don't know who was eyeing it. I didn't care who was eyeing it. That park was mine. Now, Fredericksburg is a very historic looking area. Lots of history there, lots of things written about Fredericksburg and how it came to be Fredericksburg. As you could see, the sign that I passed as I'm going there that had the population on it. That's another little tip I'll give you. If you do road trips or whatever, get all of your tools together. Go online or go to Best Buy, wherever you want to go, and get the tools that can hold your phone, and you can, suction it to the window, or you can clip it on to your steering wheel, whatever you need to do to be able to get the video you need. Then go on Amazon and get you a clicker. And your clicker can either click on your video part or it can click on your photo part. Now, you do have to have that already set and ready on your phone. And then make sure you have your car to charge the device that you're absolutely recording from, because you need to maybe use that for GPS and you're using it for photos. So just be ready. I will say that I felt very welcomed to Fredericksburg. But then I have a trick. And my trick is, this is going to be hard for some of you. My trick is I mind my business. And what I mean by that is that I literally summon my own world of where I am. Like, for example, right now, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed and I'm in between a series that I'm watching. And I thought, let me put my show out for tomorrow. Then that way tomorrow I can just spend time cleaning the house and doing kind of really domestic things. There's just certain times that I feel super domestic. Like I started in my closet last night and I was like, you got to go to bed. It's 11 o'clock. But I was having so much fun in there organizing that it's just really weird. But I'm like that. When I've got a lot on my mind, I like to organize. I know, ladies, you probably like that too. But I felt very welcomed in Fredericksburg. Again, I mind my business. I had a mission of what I wanted to do. I had my GPS on my phone to tell me where to walk to those locations. As of course I'm walking to those locations, I'm looking around to look at everything else that wasn't on my list to do, but maybe I could pop in or something. I will tell you that a lot of the stores that you're going to see are going to be like your boho chic type of dress stores. Let me just give you a tip as well. Everything in downtown Fredericksburg is not cheap. It may not be affordable for you. It's not going to be cheap. It's a small town. That's the way they make their living. They're giving you something special. You're not going to go to Idaho and find it. You're not going to go to Dallas and find it. You're not going to go to California and find it. These are going to be very unique, specific things that when someone says, oh my goodness, girl, where did you get that cute dress? And you can say, this wonderful little boho chic shop in downtown Fredericksburg, Texas. I went there on a weekend trip with the girls and I just absolutely had to have this dress. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that conversation is because my daughters and I, 2 years ago, we were in Miami, Florida, and we ended up going on a yacht trip. But before we got onto the yacht, there was this cute little boho shop that was in like a, you know how in the mall, how they have up the kiosk or whatever. Anyway, this one was out on the little yacht area and they had dresses too for something or whatever. And I told the girls, we really need to get these dresses and take pictures in them, just to commemorate it. Well, we all got dresses. Mine was had like a fuchsia color. One of my daughters had like an army green and the other one had like a purple one. And then we had an extra one because they were two for whatever the cost was, like 2 for 10 or 2 for 20 or something. Anyway, we knew that when we saw these dresses, we were like, this is going to bring back our memory for us being here in Miami, getting ready to go on our boat trip, and it's going to always remind us of that. That's what Fredericksburg, Texas is like. So when you go there, don't get upset because the prices are probably not the prices that you think you want, or you feel like, well, they're trying to get us. Nobody's trying to get you. You're going to pay vacation prices when you're on vacation and you're getting vacation items that you're not going to be able to get in Colorado, in some other place, okay? A lot of the things that you're going to see in somewhere like a downtown Fredericksburg, they're going to be custom. They're going to be handmade. I just love when I say handmade. It gives it so much uniqueness and mystiqueness and just excitement. And that's what I look for, is the mystique, the excitement, the one of a kind. Just like when I travel to other countries, I'm always going to pick up a piece of jewelry or a shirt or something that when I wear it anywhere else, it's like, where did you get that? Because you're not going to find it back in your hometown. So sometimes if I overpay an extra $5, I'm all right with it. I was just in Hong Kong in November and I bought a purse that looked like a quilt. And it was a Kelly green color. And I'm like, I'm not going to find that here because I'm not looking for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see things that you want. You were not looking for it, but he was looking for you. Listen, Linda. I'm telling you. If you remember that joke, maybe 5-6 years ago, the little boy was talking to his mom and he was trying to appeal to his own mom. And he was like, listen, Linda, listen, Linda. It was the funniest thing on the social medias. Back to Fredericksburg. Again, I felt so very welcomed. I got there. I got out of my car. I put in the address to the San Saba. soap company. Now, they were one of the higher end, and I will share that with you. They're one of the higher end soap companies. So I already knew in my mind I wasn't going to go in there and maybe buy 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 bars of soap, because I knew they were going to be, and I thought they would be between the 6, 8, and 8 max range, but they were $12. So I only bought two. I was not going to leave there without buying something because they were on my list to buy it. And I have already used, and I'm almost done, but they gave me a sample of one of their Palo Santo fragrance soaps. And it was just a little sample, like maybe the size of a little thumb-sized ginger root or something like that. It's very, very, very small. And I've used it twice, and I still have one more bath I could get out of it. Again, it was just a sample, but their other pieces are huge. I mean, if you just have regular size hands and you were to put their soap in your hand, it would be bigger than the palm of your hand. Nice square, packaged very beautifully. When I say very beautifully, I mean elegant, price. Smelled amazing, price. Had oils to match, price. So when I'm judging something, I'm looking at bang for buck, and I'm looking at what did you do to appeal to me to even make me want to purchase the soaps. I'll show you the two that I got in just a little bit, but I just want to tell you that if you find yourself, and I hope you do visit Texas, and if you find yourself in Fredricksburg, Texas, check out the San Saba Soap Company. The location is in a beautiful Victorian style home behind an iron gate. I don't know if they live there or not, or if that's just their production center. When you walk in, the smell is mesmerizing. It's not big and huge, so it's not like you're going to get in there and get confused. You either know what you like to smell or you don't. I got right in there and was out of there in less than 15 minutes. Could have been out in 10, but I was running my mouth with the lady at the front because she was very nice, very accommodating, very sweet, very professional. She was dressed so elegantly. I check everything out. And I know if this is a good fit for me within 2 to 3 seconds. You have to ring the doorbell to get in. I was like, ooh, just everybody and their mama can't walk in here. I felt special. I was glad I had dressed cute for it. That's the other thing that was on my list, was to dress cute, because I'm going to downtown Fredericksburg. I need to look cute, and I need to look like I'm about my business. So cute doesn't mean fancy. Cute just meant I was nice and comfortable, and I looked cute, okay? So listen, you have to ring the doorbell to get in. And so I rang the doorbell, and this cute young lady came, and she said, welcome. She opened the door. I was about to close. She said, oh, no, leave it open. You're welcome to look around. And it was very small, but very cute and quaint again. And I just kind of had a conversation with her, because I like to have a conversation with people to try to check their energy. That's what I'm doing. I'm just checking your energy. That's all. And that'll let me know if I want to shop here or not. That'll let me know if I want to ask you anything or not. That'll let me know if you're friendly or not. That's what people don't understand. The first 2 seconds is everything. So I go in and I go to the right and I look at everything and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So the first thing I asked, common sense, I said, are the soaps all the same price, or are they all different? She said, no, all of them are the same price. They're $12. Immediately in my mind, before she even got the dollar part out, as soon as she said 12, I said, okay, I'm going to buy 1 or 2. Because I thought, okay, if I buy 2, that's $24. So I literally just paid $24 for soap. And I was like, I'm cool with it. It's just that I had a budget for the weekend. That's the other thing that's on my list, is I always have a budget for what I'm going to spend. So, for example, I'm getting ready to do something at the end of the month. And I just decided yesterday, I said, okay, on this particular excursion, I'm going to take $500 cash with me. And I expect to bring $300 of that back. But I want to take that just for emergencies. I'll have my credit card with me and all that stuff. Is great. But I just set that budget for that yesterday. But then I have another thing that's coming up in March. And I said I was going to take $1,500 cash with me. And then I'll have my credit cards with me for any other thing. But I'm one of those people that when I'm on vacation, I like to kind of pay for it and forget about it. I don't want to come back and look at balancing books and budgets and balancing all these things when I can just pay for it and forget about it. And I save my receipts and then I can do my budget for my trip. That's another thing. At the end of my trip, I always do a tally and a budget. Let me tell you why. I do a tally on a budget because sometimes people will say to me, well, you spent the weekend in Fredricksburg. What did that cost you? And I can then look and say, oh, well, it cost this much money. For example, I stayed at the Marriott Hotel, which was literally maybe a couple of blocks from downtown, not walking distance for me, but it was easy for me to get from A to B to Z, things like that. And then on my actual road, there was a Walmart where I could go get me some snacks and water and things like that. So, to prepare myself for my next day, all day excursion that I did with my group, because that's what I was there for. But on my list, if you ever see my list, you'll see that I have what else can I do to maximize on this opportunity, because I may not go back to Fredericksburg until next year. Okay. Or if I've exhausted everything that I want to do on Fredericksburg, I may find another small town that's near there as well, because going there, I passed many others small towns. I have the hiccups. I passed many other small towns like Dripping Springs, Texas, which I've gone there many, 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 many times since 2008. But I like to be able to tell somebody, well, I went to Fredericksburg and I spent the weekend. I was there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and my total cost was XYZ. But if you want to minus out this amount of money, that was on personal expenses. But, my hotel cost this, the gas to get there cost this. So it's not very expensive. You could do a whole weekend trip there under $500. That's what your hotel included. That's what your food included. That's what your gas included. Because I filled my tank up with $40 going. And when I got there, I was barely on, I was just on, barely used a half a tank. I had more than a half a tank left. And then on the way back, I filled it up with $27. And right now, I'm still sitting on a half a tank of gas. And I drove all the way home 3.5 hours. Yeah, my little Mini Cooper does really good on gas. And it's really a lifesaver for me. And that works for me. So I had 2 soap companies on my list that I wanted to visit. The first one was the upscale one, which is San Saba Soap Company. I hope that when you're in Fredericksburg that you will visit there. Definitely visit Texas and check out Fredericksburg. And those are the soaps that I purchased. As you can see, they're very huge. So what I decided I was going to do is I'm going to cut them in half, because in my mind, because I paid $24, I need to know I bought 4 soaps. Let me tell you something. My girl plus Libra math, I tell you right now, it's never going to add up to you, but it makes perfect sense to me. Like when I do my girl and my Libra math, what's that everybody say? It really be mathing because it makes sense to me. I really don't care who else it does not make sense to. It really be making sense to me. But those are the soaps that I purchased. When I tell you the smell is unforgettable. And here's the other thing. It's not artificial smelling soap. It's a natural essential oil, natural product. Like the other night I was sitting and I was saying, my next batch of soap, because I make my own soap as well. You've heard me talk about it. I was saying the next time I make my soap, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the papaya seeds. I'm going to put it in my dehydrator, and then I'm going to put it in my coffee grinder. I don't drink coffee, but I have a grinder to grind up things like vitamin C and all that stuff to put in soap. And I think that I'm going to grind up that papaya seeds, and I'm going to grind up that vitamin C, and I'm going to grind up that turmeric, and that's what my next soap is going to be. And then I'm going to add, I can't wait. I'm going to add some almond oil, because I like the smell of almond oil in my soap. This soap smelled so good. The texture was buttery. I know you're like, how can it be soap, which is supposed to be firm, but then also how can it be buttery? All I mean is that I cannot wait for it to touch my body, which I'll be using this weekend. I'm going to finish up the São Paulo sample that she gave me. It was so buttery, just touching my body. And let me tell you something. Don't tell nobody, y'all. But when I bathed with it the first night, which was when I got back home on Monday, when I bathed with it, I was smelling myself for 3 hours. I was sniffing my arm and I was sniffing my hands, and I smelled so good. Now, I happen to be one of those people who likes to take baths 2-3 times a day. So the smell, it lasted on me. And I'm telling you, I loved the way it smelled. I'm just giving you pictures right now of how elegant and how beautiful and how professional their shop looked. It was really a pleasure to be there. I'm thankful that the young lady was very inviting. I'm thankful that she was very professional. I'm thankful that she welcomed me the way I like to be welcomed. Yeah, I'm very particular and I'm very specific. If you don't welcome me the right kind of way, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to trade dollars anywhere that I don't feel welcome. And I'm going to tell you right now, it does not matter to me why you made me feel unwelcome. Just know that if I feel unwelcome, I won't be trading dollars with you. So I left that location and I put in the next address to where I was going to go. And I was like a scout on a new route in a place that I had no idea where I was. But that was the excitement about the whole thing. And then I'll tell you something, especially if you take your kids and your family with you. They have public restrooms that are cleaner than any public restrooms I've seen. Of course, I was scared to go in the public restroom because, anybody could be in there hanging out. But I'm in a town where those type of shenanigans are not going down. Okay. I walked in there. There's another lady in there. We gave each other eye contact. I used the restroom. I came right out. 3, 4 more ladies were in there waiting. We all felt very comfortable to go in there and use it. And I mean, they had plenty of tissue, plenty to clean your hand with, plenty of good soap and all of that. And I used the restroom because I didn't want to be in a panic of, okay, where's the restroom and all of that. But I just happened to be on the right side of the street and I happened to see people going into the restroom. So I followed suit. So again, they have body oils that smell like the soap. So imagine yourself lathering in that good old nice beautiful buttery soap and then being able to put your essential oil on it. You essentially could smell so good for 24 hours. I'm going to tell you something. I got in the bed and rested the rest of the day to be prepared for the next day. And I smelled like that all day long, which then what happened is that it made my bed smell like the soap. I bathed last evening and I still smell like the soap. So the next location I went to was right down the little galleyway, and it was just so cute. But again, we're still at San Saba, and I'm just showing you how they had everything kind of on display in a very elegant way. They didn't have I bet that this company probably makes tons of different types of fragrance of soaps, but they displayed in the right way. Here's what we want you to know. Now, if you happen to, I bet if I had asked that young lady, that very cute professional young lady, if I'd asked her, do you happen to make XYZ type of soap? She probably would have said, absolutely, we have that in the back. I'm willing to bet the horse and carriage, and I don't have either, but I'm just saying. I'm willing to bet the horse and carriage that they had some stash in the back. I think when I go back again, I'm going to budget a little bit better. Again, I'm going to take these 2 I purchased. I'm going to cut them in half because they're huge. I'm going to cut them in half and then I'm going to have 4 and then I'm going to feel even better. But I bet when the next time I go, I'm probably going to get at least one of their oils. And let me tell you, the oils that they sell, they were in a glass bottle, like a perfume bottle. Very sleek, elegant, clean lines, just like simple, nothing fancy. And it was probably about the size of your hand. Again, if you just have regular girl hands. They had the roll-on thing. None of that old spray stuff where, you start spraying and then the spray thing don't work. Like right now I got an attitude because I have this little glass bottle that's very small. I travel with it and I keep a particular type of spray in it. And I lost the top to it. And I'm still looking for the top. And I'm like, okay, now I got to find my other bottle so I can transfer the spray over because there's just I like to spray this particular thing in my hands. I like to spray it on, my body. And I like to travel with it, so I spray it every day. And, I like to spray it on my pillow. There's just certain sprays that I take with me. And so, again, next time you are in, or when you, I won't even say next time, because I'm going to assume you haven't been. But when you do go to Fredricksburg, Texas, visit that San Saba soap company. Look how everything is just kind of up there, all elegant. the other thing that was so inviting about the actual store, look at the natural lighting. Look at that natural lighting. Look how it's placed, beaming right on the products that they're selling. They had other products there. I just wasn't interested, so I didn't really look. I went there for the soap. So again, I told you I'd be in my own little world. I have a list. I'm going to do this, this, and this. I schedule those things. I get them done. And I don't really play around with other stuff because, you don't want to get distracted. You don't want to get deterred. You don't want to be, focused on something that you shouldn't be focused on when you have a goal of what you're doing. Okay? But the other thing that was inviting, like I say, was the natural light that came in. I didn't even really need to wear my glasses in there to see the different products and things that they had because the light was in there so good and so nice. And while I was there, some other people started to come in as well. And so, as I'm purchasing my items and I'm leaving out, they've also got it really, really convenient where when it comes time for you to pay and you get your receipt, you can either have it texted to you, you can have it emailed to you. They use, I think it was, it might have been the Apple system that they had set up, but she did send me the text message immediately. I got it. I opened it up. I screenshotted it. I added it to my receipts for the weekend. So what that also does is if you use the Fetch app and you get the rewards and the gift cards and things for using Fetch by uploading your receipts to keep track of them for whatever reason, it was easy for me to just upload it to Fetch as well. So I didn't have to take a picture of it, then upload it. I could just actually upload it to there. But Fredricksburg, okay, so I wouldn't want to live there unless I lived on a farm and perhaps was married. I would want to live in Fredericksburg. And let me tell you why, because I know so much of Texas. And my reason is because it's very far away from the activities that
Can you also order online?
am personally used to participating in. That's just me talking. Remember I told you that beautiful little locked door that I walked in? I wanted to take a picture of that for you so that you could see how I was entering into there. Next time y'all enter into a room, check out the energy of the room. Don't just place your feet into every single door that's out there. Check the energy of the room. It'll tell you if you're supposed to be there or if you're not supposed to be there. Every room you're going to step in is not a room that you are supposed to be in. I really can't explain it further than that. But if you're in tune with any piece of your energy within and your Holy Spirit within, you're going to know. I did get a little lost when I was trying to find it because my GPS kept telling me it's right there, it's right there, it's right there, across the street, it's right there. But then I kept looking over there and it looked like I said, a Victorian home. So I wasn't sure until I actually crossed the street and then I could see it. And, by that time I passed the boho dress shop. I done passed the restaurant, smelling all good and everything. I was like, okay, you know how you get, I used to call it shiny syndrome or shiny object syndrome, where, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do. I had to stay focused. You're going to the soap shop. When you leave there, you're going to the next soap shop. If you feel like it from there, as long as you're in your hotel before it gets dark, and you still got to go to the store to get your water and snacks for tomorrow or for the weekend. Time it right, Don. We're already at that point where my mind was thinking that it's already 3:30. Okay. And I needed to get back to the hotel by 5 so I could ask her, okay, other than this grocery store that I just passed, where's the other one? And she was so happy to tell me. I think it was just really a good weekend because the lady that was so happy to share the information with me when I did finally get to my hotel, she was so nice. She just kept apologizing that I had to wait in line. She kept apologizing. And I just was like, it's okay. I'm really done for the day. Once I leave here, I'm going to be going, to the store to get me some water or whatever. And then I'll be back in my room. Like, you don't have to apologize. I'm not in a hurry. I've already gone downtown. But, maybe she could have been thinking that I wanted to hurry up and get checked in so I could go downtown to Fredericksburg. But that was not the case because I'd already been. But she was just so nice. Now, I will tell you, I'm a little spoiled because every time I usually check into a Marriott hotel, they usually hand me a little goodie bag. They have like some snacks and trail mix and candy and some water and a little thank you note and all that. And I didn't get that. So I was just kind of like, okay, you're only here for 2 days, Dawn. Chill out. Well, 3 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And so there's the address right there to the San Saba Soap Company. So if you happen to go and Google San Saba Soap Company and you are looking for the address, just know that those are the combination of numbers there for you. And I'm telling you, Fredricksburg, Texas is very inviting. I don't know about you, but I've been places where you feel out of place. Your warning signals come up and you know you're not supposed to be there, so you got to go. I didn't feel any of that here. I didn't feel any of that here. And you probably say, well, have you ever felt that anyway? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been in stores that I walked in the door and listened to my mind and turned around and left. I've been to countries that I didn't necessarily feel comfortable with certain stops that we made. Not the whole country. I'm just talking about certain stops that we made that I'm just like, mental note, I'm not going to go there again. I have about 5 of those locations in my head right now. I'm not going to share because it's not important. I have 5 of those locations in my mind right now that I won't need to ever return to. So again, like I said, I lollygagged all the way down to just take a little stroll left and right in downtown Fredericksburg. I was kind of people watching, of course. It's something I love to do. And I found that people watching can be really so much fun. I was looking at the families. I was looking at the young couples and friends and folks that were out there. I was looking at the elders. But of everyone that I was people watching, there was this one lady that caught my eye. Let me tell you how Sister was dressed. She was a Caucasian lady with short hair, and it was kind of reddish blonde, not too red where you really notice it until you get up on her. She had these big, huge, she was short, maybe like, I'm 5'4", so she may have been about 5'3". She had on a wool plaid skirt that was shaped like a petticoat skirt. She had on boots that came up. The skirt was like knee length. The boots came up over the knee. She had an orange scarf that was tied in a bonnet bow that was from the back, not the front, but from the back. She had her purse on her arm as like at the elbow. She had her head up high. She was by herself. She was minding her own business. As she walked, that petticoat wool plaid skirt was shaking from left to right. Not in a twisting. I'm not saying that. It was very windy outside. When I tell you she caught my attention, because I said that's elegance right there. She had her like antique jewelry on. It was like she had stepped out of the 1950s or 60s. And she passed me up and I noticed immediately. And then as she was walking, I'm looking at what she's got on and I was like, listen, first thing I said is I need to step up my game and I need to tap more into my femininity, because when I talk about it, she had the it factor. I cannot tell you what this lady face looked like. I can only tell you that she exuded elegance, femininity, poise, distinct, just, it was interesting because I'm a people watcher. And again, I'm watching the families, I'm watching the young people, I'm watching where I'm going. I'm looking at all the monuments that were there. I'm checking out the park. I'm looking at all the Fredricksburg signs, which you've seen pictures of them here in this video. I'm looking at what cars were downtown because, in a lot of small towns, you'll have a lot of antique car drivers, and I like cars. So I'm checking that out. I'm looking at the people. I'm looking at them age-wise. Like, okay, how many people here are, around my age group? How many young people are here? How many families are here? How many girls' trips look like they're going on? And as soon as my mind said that, I saw a pink limousine with someone who was having their girls' getaway trip for, I guess, like the bridal party or something like that. It might have been like a bachelorette weekend or something like that. And I'm looking at the cowboys in their cowboy boots and the cowgirls. I'm looking at, okay, so the weather was between 70 and 75, high maybe 82, and people were dressed all kind of ways. You had folks in shorts, you had folks in skirts, you had guys in jeans, you had some guys in cargo shorts, you had folks with warm-up pants on, you had folks with a coat on, people that had short sleeve on. I knew what the weather was going to be, so I had on a long sleeve shirt with just some tights and some white tennis shoes. The white tennis shoes was the staple because everything was just so clean and sleek looking, you know what I'm saying? But baby, I wish I had an orange scarf on from the back where you could see the bow was tied in the back. And I was like, all I could say was, you go, girl. I can't tell you what age she looked. Maybe I can. No, because I didn't see her face. Again, she passed by me. And, I'm looking at the different stores. I'm taking video and pictures and all of that stuff. So I really didn't notice until she passed me that I was like, she just looked so professional. The lady was so elegant. When I tell you, on Saturday, you could see in the background, that sky was so blue and so beautiful, and it was so clear, and there was no rain. The weather was perfect, between 70 and 75. Highest was probably at 82. Food was smelling so good down there. I saw burger places. I saw fancy Italian restaurants. I saw Mexican restaurants. I saw sandwich shops. And I'm not talking about name brand stores. I'm talking about hometown, home cooking places with patios where you could literally sit there and do like I was doing, people watching. I started to actually get something from the restaurant down there, but then I changed my mind because I was already kind of on a schedule because of the time that it was. Remember, it took 3.5 hours for me to get there and another 10 minutes to find a park. So I was already behind with what I wanted to do after. So I just wanted to get checked into the hotel. And then, of course, I wasn't aware of how far I was actually going to drive. Yeah, I could have put the store in the GPS and it could have took me there, but I went ahead and checked into my room. And the reason I do it that way, I'll check into my hotel room. That way I have my hotel room key. I don't even take my stuff out of the car. I just check into the room and then I ask a question, where's the closest store? She said, if you go just a half a mile down, there's a Walmart. I was like, okay, cool, I'll go down there. Hadn't planned on going to Walmart, but it was like, okay, it was the closest thing. Because the store I wanted to go to, she was like, yeah, they're even more expensive than Whole Foods. I said, never mind. Again, budget. And so I got in, got my key to my room, because I only had one little duffel type bag. And I got my key to my room. I went down to the store. I spent about 20 minutes in the store and got back. Then I took everything out of the car and went in. That way I don't have to come back out. As soon as I get in the room, what's the first thing I do? Boom. Put everything down. Get the ice bucket and go get my ice. So that's me taking a picture in front of the San Saba soap company as I'm getting ready to leave. The reason why I like to get a picture of things and then get a picture of things with me in front of it is just kind of like a commemorative photo for me to remember that I was actually there and that I didn't, this is not a photo that I grabbed from, online, or a photo that I screenshotted, or just a photo that I took, but that I actually was in that location. There's gonna come a time where I will be about 85 or 90 years old. And I'm probably not going to remember everything. So for me, I'm building a catalog of memories. So when I go back and I look, I'll remember. Which makes me so sad that it's not customary now to take your camera, your phone, your whatever, thumb drive, and just take it to a place, have your photos printed out, and you create your scrapbook from there. When I go in my front closet where I keep all of my photo albums, that's what I used to do. Whenever I would do big trips or big excursions or whatever, I would get back, I would take my phone to the location that I would have my photos printed. I would plug in my phone, grab the pictures from that particular series of what I wanted, whether it was a networking event, it could have been, a international trip, a national trip, a local trip, or whatever. And I would grab those photos, and then I would go to Walmart and I would buy a cute photo album. I would print out a paper that had the day, the time, the location, and when I went and did this thing. And I would put my photos in there, and those were my scrapbooks. It would take me 2 years now to go back and grab stuff. Now, the phone is great because it organizes things by time and date and location, and really good, all of that. But there's going to come a time where these memories are going to be so important to me. Yeah, that's me walking in the opposite direction of what I needed to go because I wanted to just kind of see more of the town. And of course, it's just like any other place. There's saturated areas where there's a lot of people, and then there's areas where there's not a lot of people. I try to stay in the area where there are a lot of people. That way, when you're by yourself, you just feel safe. Because there's sometimes, because I will not say all the time, because this is people who are going to be nasty to you, or who may not treat you right because of whatever reason that their hang up is. But you just kind of have to do things that are smart to keep yourself safe, okay? I love that in Fredricksburg, Texas, I saw all types of people. Young people, older people, senior people, babies, Mexican, white, mixed, all kinds of people, okay? Black, you know, people in groups, people by themselves, people eating, people resting, people with their children just having a great family picnic, store owners with happy faces. Not one place that I walk into, somebody looked like, I'll be so glad when this day is over. But I can't tell you how many stores that I have walked into in other cities that are not small, but in big cities like where I'm from, where you walk in and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I only have 2 more hours because I'm ready to go. My mind wasn't here when I clocked in. I never find that funny. I never joined the bandwagon on that. I never A-OK that, or amen that, or high five that. I just kind of get quiet and just stare like, wow, let me hurry up and get out of your way. It is absolutely daunting to me to be in public stores where workers are talking bad, acting in bad behavior or poor behavior, and acting like they don't need a job. Oh my gosh. When I tell you it annoys me, it annoys me. And that's why I love visiting small towns. And I've been to so many of them. And they all have the same amazing vibe. Okay? Just chill. Like, nice good old little Western town. I would love to know what type of festivals and events and stuff they have. They got a festival coming up. I would just love to know. But as you can see, the sign right there for the next store that I went in, I passed it up a couple of times because the sign that the name of it that was on Google was different than the name that was on the store. And so I ended up going to the store next door to it. And I said, I'm looking for 322. And they were like, no, we're 324. And I go, okay, well, then they must be next door. And she said, well, baby, what are you looking for? And I said, there's a handmade or homemade soap. Because she said next door, I think they have it. And the reason why, at first, my mind was like, well, what does she mean? She thinks they have it. Like, wouldn't they only have it? Because that's what San Saba only had was bathing products. Okay. When I walked into the store, I realized why she said what she said the way she said it. It was because it was a very interesting store where it had clothing, beautiful jewelry. When I tell you I can't wait to go back to Fredericksburg with a different budget, because there's about 3 necklaces and 3 rings that I want to go back and purchase that I know I'm not going to find nowhere else. Like, I'm not finding it nowhere else. So I can't wait until the next time I do go to San Antonio or Austin or whatever. I'm going to purposely go there just for that, because now I know. I didn't know that they sold anything else. Clothing, shoes, soaps, other bathing products, jewelry, like I said, rings and necklaces, custom type things, all kinds of little, I would guess the word I could use is trinkets, but I just mean like things that you're not going to find other places. This is what I need you to understand. What I'm saying to you is when you go to these small towns, I need you to expect and understand that you're going to have access to things that you can go to another downtown location. You're not going to find the same thing because everybody has a unique way of how they do things, okay? A lot of these things are handmade, they're custom made, they're outsourced by people who don't have access to stores like they have, so they outsource it. What I mean is this. So let's just say, for example, the jewelry that was in there. It was by a local designer who does not own a store but makes jewelry out of their home. That's what I'm talking about. The soaps in there were not made by them, but outsourced by someone who makes these soaps privately. And then when she told me that their soaps are wrapped in some kind of seed or something, and she said coming up in the spring, if you want to plant the seeds and have some, I was like, oh my goodness. She gave me a little paper on the whole thing, and I was just like, she don't even understand. She is speaking my language. Their soaps were so cute. So like when I make my soap and let's say I pour it in the long container, you can take a spoon and you can kind of manipulate the top of it and make it kind of look delicious and like a cupcake or whatever. You can whip it with a spoon. Their soaps were whipped on top. Whereas, as you could see at the San Saba location, everything was sleek, clean, contemporary, just very, flat-lined type of, very elegant. Over here, it was more fun. The soaps smelled absolutely amazing. Now, I don't really like artisan soaps, meaning they don't have to be pretty. They don't have to be multicolored. They don't have to have, certain fragrances in it. But these soaps, I could tell they are absolutely hand and homemade with the natural organic products. Like the apricots that they probably use were probably something from an actual apricot and not an actual artificial apricot smell. But I feel like, and you can always tell when soaps are natural or they're produced in a production type of way. When they're produced in a production type of way, there's a certain smell that it has to it, and what I like to call is very perfumey. When you smell handmade and homemade soaps, it's gonna smell very very like organic, kind of, you're gonna smell organic products. Like when you smell it and you listen, I got this one bar that's coconut infused with, I think, tangerine. When I tell you I cannot wait to use that soap, I had this silly little thought on my way back from home, on my way home from Fredricksburg. And I know that I bathe a couple times a day. I bathe in the morning when I wake up. And then I bathe before I go to bed because I like for my bed to always stay smelling so fresh, right? I don't ever, ever walk from outside anywhere and get in my bed. Ever. I don't do it when I'm out of town. I don't walk from outside and just get under those covers. No, that's diabolical. But I was driving back and I said, again, girl and Libra math from me. I was like, okay, if I take 2 baths a day for this long, within a month I could get to that coconut soap. Or should I start with the coconut soap, since you already are going to do the sample one that San Saba gave you? You could start with the coconut one, use it for a month, and then by April, you'll be When I tell you I was driving back, and see, this is why it's so good when you're on road trips by yourself to just kind of be in silence. You don't need to listen to any podcast. You don't need to listen to any music. You don't need to listen to anything. You just need to be in your thoughts, because when I tell you, I literally had to snap out of it, which was crazy because I was talking to myself inside myself. But I was literally calculating, okay, so you got 2 soaps from San Saba. You got 4 soaps from the next company. And then you happened upon, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, you happened upon another company, minding my business, just trying to put some gas in my car, and I happened upon some more soap. And it was a mint soap. And anybody who knows me knows I love mint lemonade. So you know the mint soap was for me. Okay? So, yeah, but I got another trip coming up, and I already have 3 more stores that I'm going to be purchasing soap from them. And then there's a Jamaican store in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that I didn't get to go to when I was there in January, that I want to order 4 soaps from them because they have the Cara one. And I was like, but I still have my own batch of soap that I'm going to make. And I was like, I'm going to have to up. Y'all do not laugh at me. I was like, I'm going to have to up my bath routine to 3 times a day. It gets really serious over here sometimes because between the girl math and the Libra math, Libra, that's my sign, September 24th. Between the girl math and the Libra math, sometimes I can be ridiculous. I'm aware of it, and I'm not working on it. It's just whatever it is what it is, okay? But by the time I get to the soaps that I just purchased, we are not even going to talk about the ones with what I have right now, and I'm just barely in the month of February. With what I have right now, I got enough soap. We're not even going to talk about the batch that I have that I made last year that I'm still working on myself. Soap I personally made that I'm still using because I still have 2 refrigerator shelves. In my refrigerator, I have soap that I made last year that I'm still bathing off of, honey and oatmeal and all of that. So let's just discount my soap and don't even think about it. But just what I've purchased when I was in Mexico in January, what I just purchased in Fredricksburg. Just with what I purchased right now, I have enough soap to get me through to the fall. Because 1 bar with me bathing right now 2 times a day, I'm about to have to skip it up to 3 times. But with me 2 times a day right now, I have enough soap for that until the fall. In the midst of me doing that, and then in July, I have a 3-week road trip, and I have over 21 soap places as I'm going along my trail that I'll be stopping at. All I can tell you is I'm glad I bathe daily. I'm glad I bathe multiple times a day. I'm glad that when I'm on my trips and we are doing excursions and things like that, that causes sometimes to bathe even more times a day, depending on what your activity is. So, for example, if you bathe in the morning when you wake up and then you go out and do an activity and you smell like the outside, so you're going to come back in and maybe get a nap. You're going to bathe before you do that, and then you're going to get up and maybe go do another activity or something, and then you decide that you guys are going to go to dinner that night, so you got to bathe again. So you might have bathed 3 or 4 times that day just to make sure that you're always smelling fresh. I know that in your mind may be absolutely ridiculous, but listen. If you listened to my show recently on First Impressions, the very first thing I talked about on that list is smell. I don't know what happened when I got in my late 40s, but my sense of smell heightened like a werewolf. I don't know why. But I can literally smell things that make me nostalgic. I can smell things that literally make me sick. I can smell things that bring back memories. I can smell, I will text my daughter sometimes and say, "What perfume did you just spray?" And she'll tell me. She's like, "You have your door closed. You have your candles lit. How you smell this way over here?" And I'm like, "Girl, I just have a good nose, you know?" I thought to myself also that I'm okay with soap being my new habit. It's been a habit for a while, but I'm okay with it being my new habit. I'm even excited right now that once I'm done recording this podcast for you, or I like to call it a pod show, I think I am going to use that last little piece of soap that they gave me a sample of, and then I'm going to prepare that coconut bar. And I'm so specific with it. I came home. I got my Ziploc bags because I want to keep the fragrance good. I got my good old Ziploc bags, and I put my soaps in it. And then I decided just yesterday that I was going to cut those those 2 into 4. The other ones are the perfect size. And yes, there is a such thing as a perfect size for me. Like I have some soaps that are very, very small size, like heart-shaped soaps, and very, very, very small. But I use those as face soaps. And then I have soaps that I bathe with. There's a certain size that I like my soap to be wrapped around in my small towel that I bathe with. Okay. And so I like my soap to be a certain size, which is why I don't understand why people bathe with larger towels, because we only have so much body. And a small towel will tackle that body better than a large towel. The small towel can get into some things. You understand? I'm going to leave that there. But I'm excited about this new 2024 soap journey. Again, downtown Fredricksburg was just so delightful. And when you come to Texas, please visit Fredericksburg. Please check out Comfort, Texas. Please check out Medina. Those are all the places that I got to go over the weekend. Okay? I've been through them, but didn't hang out. And this weekend, or last weekend, I should say, that weekend, I got a chance to hang out. Again, look how beautiful that sky was. It looks absolutely fake. Look at those clouds, how beautiful and white they are, with the contrast of that blue firmament up there. It's absolutely beautiful. Sometimes I just stare at the sky and I see what I see, but the appreciation of it actually comes when I'm looking back at my photos and I'm looking at the beauty of it all. And I just want to say that if you have not visited Texas, you could literally drive 10, 12, 13 hours and still be in Texas. So you can't tell me that there's not a lot for you to see. You can't tell me there's not a lot for you to do. You can't tell me there's not a lot for you to eat. You can't tell me there's not a lot of people you can meet. You can't tell me there's things you can't learn. You cannot tell me none of that. Because as a native Texan, baby, I'm all in. Visit Texas. Visit Fredericksburg. And I'm going to leave you with this. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about us succeeding. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about us removing ourselves from the union. I've been hearing a lot about us becoming our own nation and our own country. And when I tell you, when that happens, I will be celebrating and I will be excited and I will be doing a whole show about it. And the fact that we have 27 other states that support this with us. Oh. Visit Texas. Visit Texas. Yeah, I know you want to come to Houston. Yeah, I know you want to visit Dallas. Yeah, I know you want to go to the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Yeah, I know. I get it. But there's so many other small places in Texas that I know you would enjoy. I know you would. I know you would. There's not one thing about me that says you would not enjoy some of these rural areas of Texas. There's not one thing about me that says you would not enjoy living out in the country. There's not one thing about me that says that you can't find any type of food that you want. We have every type of food. We are a melting pot of culture and generations. And that's why I love being from Texas. I've visited many other places. And it's very one-sided and very culture-centered, one-sided. I get everything in Texas. When I woke up this morning, I can't tell you what I was thinking about because you're going to think I'm really weird, but I was just saying I want everything. I want it all. I want everything. That's what I get in Texas. I get it all. I get everything. I get everybody. I get any kind of food. I love waking up every day going, what am I eating today? Because I know the world is mine. I can have anything. If I want vegan food, there's vegan restaurants. If I want Italian food, there's Texas Italian and there's authentic out there Italian. If I want Mexican food, I can get Tex-Mex or I can go to the food truck and I can get authentic Mexican food. If I want traditional American food, anywhere. I can get everything. If I want Greek food, I can go get that. If I want African food, Jamaican food, whatever I want to eat, I can get it here. Wherever I want to shop, I can shop here. If I only want to shop with the Haitians, I can go there. If I only want to shop with the Honduran individuals, I can go to their shops. If I only want to go to the African shops, I can go there. If I only want to go buy my candles from the Mexican shops, I can do that. We have everything here in Texas. We have every culture here in Texas. We're a melting pot of blessings here in Texas. So the next time you visit, I want you to remember that. When you come here to Texas, you're not restricted to, oh, I can't get that. What I want you to be thinking, and what I know for sure you'll be thinking is, when we go to Texas, we can get whatever we want because Texas has it all. We can go to the big city and we can have a great time. We can go to the little rural area and we can have a great time. We can go wherever we want to go. But one thing that's for certain, yeah, we're like everybody else. For the most part, I meet really wonderful people. Now, let me tell you this last story, and then I want to get out of here. I put in my Google thing, and I'm looking for gas, and I specifically like to use Shell gas because they were sponsors for our Mini Cooper Club for years, so I'm kind of loyal to them, and I like to get Shell gas. So I found a Shell gas station that's maybe like 1.6 miles away from where I was, getting me a little bite to eat. I got a little gas booster, for my car at the AutoZone. I put in the Shell gas station, and it leads me to the Stagecoach. And I'm an old-fashioned girl, so I got out to go in and pay for my gas because I don't put my credit card into these machines. I don't do it, especially if it's on the outside. I barely ever use my debit card or credit cards or anything like that. I pay for everything in cash just to make everything easy and forget about it, right? So anyway, I walk into the Stagecoach place, and to the right was the register. But I said, well, maybe I'll get me some snacks or something like that, or see what kind of snacks they have. Because, sometimes when I go to these small towns, I like to look to see if they have like a Chico stick or, some old-fashioned now laters or something like that. But as soon as I walked in, a shelf called my name and said, look at me. And I looked over there, and it was just a small little shelf with soap on it. And they had a mint flavor. They had a citrus flavor. In the end, I bought 4 soaps. Each one smelled just as good as the rest. And I got to the register and I said, however much I got on gas on pump number 6. The reason I remember pump number 6 because I went there again. And the guy says, yeah, on the side, I work on cars, and I don't know what it is about that soap, but it just gets you squeaky clean and make you smell so good. And I was like, wow, I liked his attitude. I said, I just didn't even know. I came in here just to pay for my gas. I wasn't even expecting this. And then I noticed that on the soap, it told you where you can go online and order it, who made it and all that. And I just sat there and was reading all the ingredients and all that stuff. And I was so excited. So I got outside and I'm walking to the car, and the wind was blowing and blowing. I took a picture of the soap. Everything was a goat milk base. And I was like, I know somebody on a farm with some goats processing this soap. This ain't no plant processed soap, I was so excited to see the soap. I was minding my business. That's not what I was looking for. But what I tell you in the beginning of this call or this pod show, the soap was looking for me. So it called my name. I answered the call. I got my gas. And I got out of there. On my way getting ready to go home on Monday, I went there again. And I was talking to the lady that I paid for my gas with. And I said, I can't wait to use this soap. And I know it's going to be wonderful. And I can't wait to order more. And she said, oh, all the information on where to order and how to order it, it's all on there. So all the soaps that I purchased, I made sure I took screenshots of them and pictures and all that, so that later on down the road, in case I accidentally throw the packaging away, which I normally don't, at least I'll know where I got the soap from. I have so many reasons to want to go back to this area. So many things I want to see. So many things I'll be purchasing. And I'm just telling you right now, get out. Get you some friends and family or folks you do business with, whatever. And get out and check it out. You're in Texas? Start putting some things on your list to visit some of these small areas. Don't just be in your area and forget about these other areas. It's too much out here to see. And again, sometimes you can just be minding your business and you get a subtle tap on the shoulder that says, look at me. Come get me. Take me home with you. And that's what I did. Hey, that's my show for today on Fredricksburg, Texas, Comfort, Texas, Medina, Texas. Just Texas, 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 Texas. It's all in my blood. It's all over me. It's all over me. You come to Texas, get you a list of things to do, visit the visitors bureaus, pinpoint where you want to go, stay a little time. That's my show for today.